everyone, and welcome back to the PsyCrab ASMR channel. I will be your ASMR artist for tonight. PsyCrab, hello, welcome. Newcomers, welcome. Returning friends, thank you for being here. I know it's been a while. Sorry about the car noise. I opened my window because the nature sounds outside are lovely. Because it is now spring, okay? And life is coming back to the world, and I love that energy. So, as you saw from the title of this video, this will be our 6,000 subscriber special. To be real with you, it hasn't sunk in that I have 6,000 subscribers. 6,000 unique individual people. That's pretty wild, and I am both humbled and honored and so proud that I can be doing this. It's so fun, and I love hearing from you all. And, I just get to put my message out there. So, without further ado, we are going to get into the questions tonight. There's a lot of questions. You guys had some great questions, fun questions, and I'm going to primarily be doing this ASMR video in this style of voice because I do not really feel like whispering for this. Probably going to be a long one. And I feel like I can communicate a little bit better if I'm just speaking in my radio voice. My old boss used to call this my Zen voice. I just feel like she's never actually met a man who isn't completely bouncing off the walls. But anyway, thank you for being here. Welcome, and let's get into your questions. Thank you. Okay. First question is from Alaro. Alaro writes, I guess lately I've been dealing with an extremely toxic and competitive work environment. I am not in the position to leave/quit super suddenly, and the current job market in my field is treacherous. Do you have any advice on how to tackle this? Maybe prevent it from letting it ruin mental every day. Love and appreciate your comment. Thank you for helping us relax and reset. Thank you, Alaro, for your question. Love and light. Cultivate your strength. Love you. So, Alaro says that he's been dealing with an extremely toxic, competitive work environment, and he's not in the position to leave or quit suddenly. Do I have any advice on how to tackle this? The number one thing that you want to do in this godforsaken market of workplace that we find ourselves in my opinion, the best thing you can do is always be looking for another job. Always be looking. And the second piece of this is save and portfolio all your work. All of it. And that's really my best advice, is to consistently build yourself as an entity of value. So, as far as dealing with the extremely toxic competitive work environment and this treacherous job market, I'm assuming you're probably in future technologies or computer science. That's what I'm assuming you're probably doing. Or maybe something in design, because design is getting very difficult to land a job due to all of the AI tools And a lot of people trying to figure out how much marketing is even worth. Newsflash, it is worth everything, okay? Now, I think my answer to your question is create that base for yourself. Save all your work, everything you do, and always be looking. I know it's like kind of annoying, but you do not owe a single thing to any employer. You owe them nothing except the work that you've agreed to do. Nothing more and nothing less. They don't care about you, and you shouldn't care about them. Business is business, and a lot of people involved in business are disgusting people. Okay, that's what I've learned. And the way you deal with disgusting people, talentless exploiters, is to save everything you do so they can never use it again. They can't use it against you. And you have this base that you can lily pad to the next job. How to prevent it from ruining your mental every day? That's hard. That is hard. That's hard because work environments can get unbearably toxic, okay? And, the best way to really deal with it is to do what I said, which is to completely detach from your work. And I know that's hard to do, especially for someone like myself who is very genuine. I love human connection. I love meeting genuine people, but you're not going to find a lot of those people in your workplace. And from my experience, I don't even want to get buddy with people in the workplace because it's just going to end up hurting someone in the end. So, in conclusion, I think that you should save all your work. You should build a portfolio. You should always be marketing yourself as a brand, like an entity of value. What do you bring to the marketplace? And can you demonstrate that at the drop of a hat? And that's how I approach getting work. And I'm not the most successful person because the market is in massive flux right now, and we also have all of this automation coming in, and everyone is confused. And so the way you deal with a confusing world is to make sure that your shit is on lockdown. And I know it's annoying, and I know you don't want to do it, and I was very much this way. Let me tell you, after I had to leave my last job, this all came home, and I was so happy to have all of the marketing material that I worked on for these disgusting people. Because you know what I did? I immediately flooded LinkedIn with all the work I've done, and I inundated them with everything that I've done for them. And I threw it in their face, like Benihana. Threw it right in their face. And I know it pissed them off endlessly. And I got a job maybe a month later. So, save your work. Believe in your work. And just do your best. Fuck competition. What is competition? Do your best. That's all it takes. Do your best. And at the end of the day, if you can say, I genuinely tried my best today, you're a winner, baby. That's it. That's all you got to do. I think I'm going to end that response there, Alaro. Peace, love, and light. I know it's tough out there. I really, really, really get it. I really, really get it. Build that base. of work, of confidence. Learn to sell yourself. And just know you're a king, you know? Your work speaks for itself, Alaro. And don't worry about the competition. You don't need to compete with anyone else. All you have to do is compete with yourself. And genuinely try your best, because at the end of the day, when the cows come home, that is what you're going to focus on. Did I do my best? I'll leave it there. Next question is from AU8438. And AU says, hope it's not too late. My question is, how do you stay motivated to create content consistently? What is your personal tricks, self-motivations? Well, AU, recently I've been on a bit of a hiatus because my life just got too busy. And there were too many emotions going on inside my monkey mind. And I had to take a break. And to all of you who encouraged me to take a break, thank you. Love ya. But to answer your question, how do I stay motivated to create content consistently or semi-consistently? What are my personal tricks? I genuinely love doing this. I love speaking to people. I love speaking and telling my truths and telling my story. And I believe I'm fairly good at communicating. And I love the feeling I get when I communicate something and I can see people resonating with it, because it makes me feel like all the work I did in my life, getting sober, losing my dad at, a relatively young age, 30, dealing with my dad's blindness his whole life, dealing with all sorts of stuff in my past that, I've come through it, and now when I speak my truth to the world, I see it resonate in the hearts of people listening. And that, honestly, is the motivation I need to even get out of bed. That's all I need. That is all I need. But personal tricks, I am a creator. I go crazy if I'm not making something cool to look at, or something interesting to look at, or something bold looking, or I just love creating experiences for people. Now, human life is really a balance between consumption and creation / destruction. Consumption and creation / destruction. And it's up to us to balance that, because if you only create without consuming, your art won't be that interesting. It just won't be. And frankly, you can't really create from a base of no consumption. Our ability as humans to be creative, impulsively create, is really, we're doing a monkey see, monkey do type thing. Where we're sort of taking things we've seen and sort of morphing them into a new piece of art to experience. Personal tricks. I have just worked very hard at becoming disciplined. I go to the gym 3 days a week. I run Tuesday and Thursdays, or do cardio. I lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm usually gaming, and I read, and I have it sort of like time blocked out. So I do sort of time block sometimes if I'm getting there's too much creativity coming in from source, and I'm like, I'm going crazy. I can't get it all out. Oh my gosh. I start time blocking. I journal all the time. I journal all the time to keep it straight. And I'm also a writer. I love writing. I love written word. I love reading. And so those are some of my tricks, but I genuinely love doing this so much that I think about it all the time. When I'm at work, I just think about, man, I need to make that 6,000 subscriber special because people are waiting to hear from me. People are waiting. And that's motivation. That's my motivation. Thank you for your question. Next, we have Brexton101 asks, do you have any hobbies? Yes, I do have hobbies. I am falling into this role of being an online persona, which is kind of interesting and fun. And right now it is kind of a hobby. I do consider this my life's work to a degree. The evolution of mankind and human species, that is my life's work. And this is the first step. However, hobbies, I love gaming. I love anime. I love hiking. I love drawing. I love painting. I love reading. I read a lot. I read all the time. That's not true. I go through phases of reading where for maybe 6 months, I'll do nothing but read. I'll just read and read and read and read books after book after book. And then I'll be done. I just cannot read. I can't sit down. So, I'm a huge runner. I've run a marathon, one of the best experiences of my life. I lift weights. I don't consider lifting a hobby. I consider it an obligation if you own a human body to cultivate your strength. But I consider all the fun stuff I do in the gym to be a hobby. I don't consider lifting to be a hobby. That's a duty. I consider, messing around in the gym, like doing a rope climb or a wall climb. Like, that's fitness hobby fun. Because it's not what I'm going after with fitness. I'm going after strength cultivation right now. So it's like a second job. It really is. People are like, oh, you're going to the gym. How fun. No. The gym is not fun. The gym is a temple for me. Okay. And so hobbies, I'm a big gamer. I love lots of types of games. I love anime. I always love a good movie. I'm not much of like a TV kind of guy just because I feel like TV can kind of take you for a ride and waste your time sometimes. And I don't like that. I like finished art where I'm like, I start here, I go here, I experience the whole thing, and it's all good. Any other hobbies? Hiking, eating, cooking. I love learning new recipes and expanding my repertoire of recipes. That's an Ignis quote. And my mom was always like, PsyCrab, you must know how to cook as a man. All men must know how to cook. And I'm so glad that she raised me to be a man who can cook, because when you come across a dude who can't cook his own meals, who can't buy his own groceries, who, there's always an excuse why they can't do the dishes in the sink. No. That's not going to work for me. So, moving on. Thank you for your question, Brexton101. I hope that was illuminating about my various hobbies. Next question is from Candad. And Candad asks, do you speak another language than English? Is there another language that you would like to learn? Fantastic question. I took 7 years of Espanol. Can I speak it well? No. Could I speak it well in college? Yes, and in fact, I practiced a lot because where I live, sophomore to senior year, we had a bunch of guys from the Dominican Republic who lived right below us, and we would chill with them all the time, play a ton of FIFA. Those guys were gods at FIFA, oh my lord, and man did they drink. And they taught me how to dance the bachata. Guys, if you're watching, I love you, and I need to come visit the DR. But I would kind of like speak Spanish with them, and they would teach me like how to say naughty little things. And that was always fun. I love them. But so I took 7 years of Spanish. I took about a month of Italian, and I hated it. And I also hated the teacher. And is there another language I would love to learn? I would love to learn Mandarin. I would love to be fluent in Spanish. I would love to be able to speak Japanese because I'm kind of a weeb, but, you know, Japanese is a very difficult language, so is Mandarin, you know. And I'm like, do I want to learn it? Yeah, absolutely, I want to learn how to speak Mandarin or Japanese or both. Do I have the time to dedicate to this pursuit? I don't know about that. But those are the languages I can speak, and those are the languages that I would like to learn. Thank you for your question, Candad. Next question is from David's5130, and David S says, what's your favorite JRPG? Great question. I've already answered this in a previous video. I think my favorite Japanese RPG of all time is probably Final Fantasy X. However, I just beat Final Fantasy 15, and it might take the #1 spot for me. I loved Final Fantasy 15. That game, and I don't know what it is, everyone, but there really is some kind of like psychic intuition, because like I played that game after I lost my dad, and if you don't know, that's a big part of Final Fantasy 15 is like filling your father's shoes and like reclaiming the throne and like the friends that support you along the way. Like that game, the ending destroyed me. I was a shattered man for days. Such a beautiful ending. One of the best, even though the story was kind of a convoluted mess because of the insane production on this game. I thought the story was really engaging and good, and the ending blew my mind. Chapter 15 or 14, the one when the really big thing happens. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. So I would say Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 15. And I actually really like Tales of Berseria. I haven't beat it though. Don't spoil, please. If you spoil, I will block you. And I'm not kidding. I don't do spoilies. If you leave spoilers in my comment section, don't do it. Do not do it. So, David, I think my favorite JRPG is probably... I think it's Final Fantasy 15. And that's crazy because I am obsessed with Final Fantasy 10. I just feel like Final Fantasy 15 was made for me. And I loved that game. Thank you for your question. Our next question is from Deadpaul6587. Hi, Deadpaul. Dead Paul asks, anything advice for overcoming a crush, lol? And please don't tell me to find things I don't like about him, because the more I get to know him, the more perfect he seems. My first question is, have you spoke to this person? Does this person, well, are you trying to actually overcome this crush, or are you trying to get with this person? Because make a decision, or do you want to overcome the crush, or do you want to be with the crush? If you're like me, you go for the crush. And, don't tell me to find things I don't like, because the more I get to know, the more perfect he seems. Well, what are you waiting for, Any advice for overcoming a crush? Sure. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Delete them off your social media. Avoid them in real life. Don't call them. Don't text them. Don't even look at them. They no longer exist. And you get a new goal. You get a new focus. And you go for it. I hope that helps you, Dead Paul. And good luck. Love is crazy. Love is crazy. Next question is from Delan. Delan says, what's your favorite video game franchise? I feel like the actual answer is World of Warcraft. Granted, I only really played like vanilla to Kata, and I quit in Kata when the Blizzard Activision crap started and the game stopped being immersive and became a cash shop simulator with fast travel everywhere, and you don't even need to play the game. And no. I think a better answer, the best answer for you, my favorite video game franchise of all time is Mass Effect. Time for me to gush about Mass Effect. If you have not played Mass Effect, what are you doing? What are you doing? I wish I could trade places with you. If you haven't played this game, I wish I could be you so I could re-experience this masterpiece. Masterclass, masterpiece, the greatest sci-fi story probably ever. No, Neon Genesis Evangelion, but amazing game, so good. If you don't know this about Mass Effect, it's a story-driven space opera essentially, where the things you do in game 1 will affect things in game 3, and not just like, oh, someone has a different color armor. A main character can die in the first game and not even be in the third game. And one of the best parts is when you compare your experience to one of your friends, and you'll say like, oh yeah, and then this person died, and they'll be like, what, they're dead? Like, they're in my game. Like, they have thousands of lines of dialogue. Like, that's just not in your version of the game. I have not experienced any other game franchise that goes this hard in storytelling. None. An insanely ambitious project from BioWare. Did I play Andromeda? No. I hear it's decent, but it's not Mass Effect. Okay, it's not. It is, but it's not. And now we have another Mass Effect game on the horizon, which people are a little worried about, that they're going to mess up the IP completely, but I don't know. I'm open to new Mass Effect stories. I mean, it's space, brother. It can be anything you want it to be. But I believe they're doing this, but I was always saying, if they would just adapt this game into live action and put a budget behind it, amazing. And make it a series, like a TV series, like a 3-season TV series. Please, please do that. It would be so good. And I'm talking quality, like with like the Fallout show on Amazon. That kind of quality I need, okay? Mass Effect doesn't work unless it's grandiose on a scale unbelievable. Like, that's part of what makes Mass Effect amazing, is it's just huge. Some of the best world building in any game ever. So, Delon, I think that is my answer for favorite video game franchise. I need a haircut. This is like killing me. It looks like a mop. Anyway, next question is from Fight the Feeling. What's your top 5 shows/movies? Number 1, Neon Genesis Evangelion. The show, the movies, all of it. Number 1. Number 2, I love Kill Bill 1 and 2. I think they're awesome, genius, amazing. I love Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Hero. Beautiful movies, stunning movies. I love Breaking Bad. Probably the greatest TV series that has ever come out. It's so far above anything else. The acting, the color use, the sound design, the writing, the content, it's amazing. It's not for everyone because the subject matter is very dark, very real. That show is real, boy. My God. But I love Breaking Bad. And I love Game of Thrones. Yes, is the ending bad? It's not great. But that show is insane. House of Dragons, fantastic TV show. But like I said, I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of anime movies. Like, I love Ghost in the Shell. I love Akira. I love Escaflowne. I love pretty much most of the Ghibli movies. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, they're just a visual treat. And I like really intense stuff. I like stuff that gets dark. I don't do like Saw. I don't do that kind of dark. I'm not into watching suffering. There's enough suffering in the world, but I like real. I like high stakes because life is high stakes. And so I like my art to kind of remind me of life in a way. And if you do nothing else, go watch Neon Genesis Evangelion. Okay, next. The next question, thank you, Fight the Feeling, for your question. The next question we have is from figurative artist Benjamin. And Ben says, what is your least favorite exercise and what do you do to con yourself into doing them? Very good question. Least favorite exercise, I don't like doing pull-ups. I'm a thick okay? Pulling this body up is hard. Pulling this body all the way to a bar more than 5 times, I don't like it. It's hard, okay? It's hard. And what do I do to con myself into doing them? I picture how massive my back would get width-wise if I just cranked these every day. Just cranked them out. So I use a lot of, I inspire myself to do hard things by saying, imagine what you're gonna be once you're on the other side. I always try and visualize PsyCrab after he's gone through hell. because on the other side of that is an improved version of myself. I'm just really into like fitness evolution and enlightenment, so I'm a stickler for fitness. You're really not going to get around it with me. You have to move every day. There are no other choices for you. You must do it. But you know, like I've done a marathon, so like I've been in a spot in fitness where like I've suffered so much that it's just like I almost have this relationship with pain where I'm like, give me more. Like the painful stuff is the stuff that's gaining you the most. The painful stuff that you go through, that you force yourself to go through, that grows you the most as a person. And so it's not even a con myself into doing them. It's I think about what I'm going to be if I don't do the thing that I need to do. And now I'm good at this because I've had a long life full of a lot of bad choices. And, you know, when I got sober, when I got out of rehab, I had a new way to perceive suffering, and I had a new way to approach pain where I don't let negative things just hurt me. I always take them and I try and change them into some kind of positive growth for myself. But yeah, man, I hate pull-ups. I just don't like them. And front squats, they're just like anything that kind of like makes my wrist go into strange precarious positions. I kind of just avoid them because I'm afraid I'm going to tweak this, and my right hand is everything to me. Like I can't use this. I can't use this. I partially tore a ligament in this wrist, and it's still not the same, and it's still kind of weak, and it just freaks me out. And it's why I'm not really like getting into combat sports yet, even though I want to. I'm just afraid that if I like strike someone, it's gonna jack me up for life, and I don't know. I go back and forth, but what do I do to con myself into doing stuff I don't want to do? I just think of how great I'm going to be once I do it, and I just dive in. Face your suffering head on, and it will no longer have any control over you. That's it. Thank you for your question, Ben. And our next question is from Flano Flair. Flano Flair says, what really pushed you to start doing this style of content? Sweating emoji. What pushed me to do this style of content is that I died as a person. I died as an alcoholic, and I was reborn as whatever this is. And people at that facility told me that people there looked up to me, and I realized that I have a role to play in this world, and I was hiding from that responsibility. And then I got with my ex, and they told me to pursue this, so I did, and I just had time because work was going well, and I've been watching YouTube since the very beginning, and I just genuinely love talking to people, and I love sharing my thoughts. I'm a big First Amendment right guy. I love sharing my thoughts and my truth. And another thing about having a platform for anyone out there who's thinking about getting into YouTube, having a platform is wonderful because I feel like I have a bit of control over this. And in life, we don't really have too much control, you know what I mean? Like, it, and so I like that this is mine and no one can tell me what to do, no one can tell me how to do it, and I can deliver what's in here to you. Unfiltered. Just here to you. Here, straight downloaded into your mind. And I love that. I have been gatekept my life by people who I think, I don't know what it is. I don't want to be egotistical, but sometimes I think they're a little intimidated by just my ability to like see things and like visualize it and just do it and just get it done. Like, and I felt like I have so much gatekeeping in my past with people not allowing me to just do the thing that needed to be done because they were too coward or fearful or it was too much risk or what, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to be gatekept anymore with my messaging. And so I'm just going to speak and really it's about relaxation and healing, but I'll probably venture off and make some more channels that are not going to be concentrated on spirituality. Well, it'll all be spirituality, but not the ASMR healing variety. I just want to speak to a camera. I'll probably do some I'll probably make like I have another channel, PsyCrab, that you can go subscribe to. But there's no content. I'm just reserving the name. But that channel may turn into like I speak about anime, or I do inspirational talks, or I get into fitness, maybe something like that, maybe a blend. I don't know, but that's what's so great is I can do whatever I want. And I can make it in the way I want, and I can market it the way I want, and I love that. Why am I shirtless? It helps engagement. Thanks for watching. Also, I like being shirtless. Being shirtless is fun when you're kind of, when you're kind of, but I like my body. I'm proud of this body. I've worked hard on this body. So take a look. Next question. Frank the Tank. Frank says, I have one serious one and one silly one. What are some life changes or practices you would recommend to maintain consistency and stay disciplined? Get a goal, an objective goal with measurable results, and write it down and hold yourself accountable. Stop telling yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it. How many times have we done this, Frank? Honestly. What is it that you want to do? Write it down. Visualize doing the process. So many people see the process, like they want the result. Here they are, they want the result, and that process dissuades them from even starting. And what I always tell people is that life is a process, it's not a destination. There are destinations on the end, which is death, but it's a process, okay? And you need to have patience, and you need to have patience with yourself, because it's going to be okay. And you need to realize that you're not going to be a master of it right off the bat, and that's fine. You don't want to be a master right off the bat. Life requires time. Things happen over time, and you just got to be in tune. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen is like a time lapse of nature with like plants growing, because it just illuminates how humans don't understand time. Like we see things every moment. And we can't see the whole picture. We only see the moment we're in. And so people, sometimes they're not even aware of like changes over time, but like you have to be in the process and you have to believe in the process. So what are some life changes or practices? Start thinking about putting yourself in a process today. Get a goal that you work towards, not a lofty goal, a goal that you can achieve through steps. And when you don't do the step, you can hold yourself accountable. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, have someone else do it. And if you need me to hold you accountable, I will. And you don't want me holding you accountable, trust me. Because if I do, you're gonna get that goal accomplished. You are. Because you can. It's this fear thing, and I'm being a bit of a butthead. I have a ton of anxiety, Frank. Tons. And like the things that work for me to stay consistent and disciplined is I write stuff down and I leave notes around and I write stuff down and I constantly look over stuff again and again and again until it's like and I get obsessed with my goals and then I just go for it. You can do it. You can accomplish whatever you put your mind to. You just have to have a realistic time frame. That's what people don't. They hate that truth. It takes time. And it takes like continual effort. The way I think about discipline is with this visual metaphor, right? It's the one about you walk by a lake every day and you throw a stone in. And eventually you've thrown so many stones because you pass this lake every day, and every day you throw one little stone. Eventually there's a mountain of stones where the lake used to be. And that is how I visualize discipline over time. Build your mountain. You just have to throw one pebble a day. That's the only deposit you have to make, a small deposit. But if you don't have a goal and you don't read your goal and you don't visualize and you don't look over it, you will get lost on that path towards success. Success is not a straight line. It's like this. It's all over the place. I have to plug my phone in. Okay. Welcome back. And Frank's second silly question is, if you had a pet flubber, how would you incorporate it into your workouts? I'd shove it up my... I'm kidding. I would do this with it. To work on my rhomboids. I have to stretch it out like that. Thanks, Frank. I wish you the best. This success is inside of you. You just have to realize it yourself. And moving on, thank you for your question. Next question is from Louis J. 5069. He says, "Hi, Crab Champ." I love that. Have a question. Do you think it's important to sometimes act or be the villain for someone's sake? I know what you mean. You should never be villainous. Villainy is weak. Every situation can be answered by a true hero. The villains are who the heroes crush. Be the hero for someone's sake. They need you. And I know you're a hero. Love and light, brother. Thanks for your question, Louis J. Moving on, we have Sayo4213. Sayo says, if you have one, what's your favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is Lugia, Blastoise, Suicune, Mewtwo, Mew. Those are my top 5. I really like Lugia. I think her design is amazing, and the Pokemon movie I saw in theaters, and it was incredible. And I got this like golden Mew card that was like heavy, like it was like heavy. It was, I think it was like metal or something. It was so cool. Bringing back cool experiences for kids, right? Anyway, thank you for your question. Next question is from Ray Was Bay. Ray Was Bay says, is there something you wish you did differently as a child? If so, what would be your advice? He then went on, or they went on to then ask about specifically teenage years. So what would I have done differently in my teen years? Being a teen is hard. Being a teen nowadays is impossible. Like I can't imagine growing up in high school with the social media the way it is today. Brutal. But, I've been around like younger people here and there for my old job, and I think in general, young people get it because they have access to the internet, and, not all of them get it. A lot of them are led astray. It really comes down to parenting, in my honest opinion, but on how the child develops. A mix of, it takes a village. I really do believe in the whole village concept. Like, if you've never read Island by Aldous Huxley, that's one of my favorite books of all time, and just go read it. It's genius, brilliant, and like, it's utopia. It takes a village to raise a human being. It takes a universe to raise a being. Okay. But what would I have done differently as a teen? I would have started lifting weights earlier. That is one thing I really wish I started doing at like 15, 16, 17. If I started lifting at that age, I would be huge right now. I would be huge. And being in shape when you're young is so important to your health and your mental health. It's just such an important time of vibrancy and energy in someone's life that it's really a shame if it's wasted on, it's not that, and you have to have empathy, because like, not everyone's struggle is the same, and this and that. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Personally, I wish I lifted weights more as a teen. Something else I wish I did. I wish I let myself open up my heart more to my friends. I always was trying to be Mr. Cool back then, and I shut myself off because I didn't want to be vulnerable, because I was a scared little baby man. I was a little baby. Open your heart to people. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Not with your employers. With your friends. Open your heart, truly, and you will experience life. Close your heart, and it's just you. And the other fragments of God or whatever is this, whatever this crazy thing is, whatever force drives this reality, this simulation, this game, this whatever it is for you, open your heart and reach out to the other fragments of God, of pure source energy, you and me. Open your heart. Fitness, make yourself vulnerable, love your friends, love your family, study hard, respect your teachers, but, respect yourself more. Okay? At the end of the day, you know you. And, I was very respectful of authority in school, but I'm just a bit of a troublemaker. And I've been an adherent to truth forever. And so get involved with stuff. Get involved. If you like sports, do that. If you like music, do that. If you're into theater, do that. If you like art, get into art. If you want to learn a language, just like we were talking about with Frank, immerse yourself in a process and your life will bloom, because things will start to happen. You'll meet people and you just start surfing that wave of life, and it's going to be great. And do your best every day. Even if that day is like skipping school, do your best at skipping school. Do you know what I mean? Make it the best day you can. Every day. Every day. And be kind. And if you do all those things, Ray, you're going to be great. And you're going to blossom into a great person I'm going to pass a torch to you, and you're going to just keep carrying us further. And I say that to all the teens watching. So, thank you for your question. And next we're going to go to Sam Hunt Work. Sam Hunt Work asks, what vampire power would you want the most? Well, let's do a little research, shall we, my friends? Vampire powers. How many are there? I've played Vampire a little bit, but I think that's a little more of a game than an actual vampire, you know what I mean? So, physical powers, superhuman strength and speed, enhanced senses, regen, shapeshift, immortality, mental and supernatural powers. We have hypnosis, mind control, telepathy, flight, emotional influence, aura perception, garlic immunity, spider climb. I'm really into telepathy. I think I would probably have already changed this entire world if I could read minds or communicate telepathically with other people. I'd be farther ahead in my life work. Let's just say that. So I'm going to take a mix of immortality and telepathy. If I can be superhuman strength and speed, I'm taking that too, because that's badass. Okay. Thank you, Sam. Next question is from Santo Shrow. There's a train. Can you hear the train outside? There's a train out there somewhere in the world transporting cargo. Okay, and back to the questions. Santo Shrow says, Crab Daddy, how do you deal with life's disappointments? Not well. Not well. Not well, but how do you deal with life's disappointments? Sorry, I'm in a goofy jester mood today. How do you see past them and remember your larger path? life can be so disappointing. It behooves one to really get in touch with your spirituality and understand that we are not in control. This is a spiritual journey. You're not meant to win. You're not meant to lose. You're meant to experience and learn and observe and be aware. So life is going to be very disappointing, and it's just good to remind yourself, give yourself grace, be kind with yourself, that you can shoulder disappointments. You've done it before. There's going to be more in the future. And it has nothing to do with you. And it has nothing to do with how you performed. It has nothing to do with how you loved or how you didn't love and da-da-da. Sometimes things just don't work out the way we want. Oftentimes that's the case. And how do you see past them? You look past them. You realize that the future is happening right now, and right now, and right now, and right now. Moment. That's the past. And you're going to have to mourn the past a bit, because that's what we do as humans, but because the past dies every moment, you know. It's born and it dies. It's born and it dies the moment. Continuously up and down, kind of like a wave or something. Just give yourself grace and understand that life is meant to be disappointing. It's meant to have moments of joy. It's meant to be sad. It's meant to be horrific. It's meant to terrify. It's meant to shock and awe with beauty. All of these things, because it's a spiritual journey and nobody gets out alive. Remember that larger path and know that you're going to be okay. Whatever it is, no matter how horrific, in the end, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. It's hard. I've been so derailed recently by events that have happened in my life that came out of nowhere and have disappointed me on a level I didn't think I would ever recover from. But you just have to remember that the future is now, and have self-confidence that you did the best you could. You know, I always say do the best you can, because at the end of the day, when you look back, you did the best you could. And if other people didn't, that's just how they behaved in that moment with the life choices that they had. Everyone is on a journey in the same game world, the same game server. We all ping pong off each other and affect each other. It's this giant cause and effect machine. That's all this is. So just, play the game. Allow yourself to feel disappointed. Allow yourself to mourn. And when it's time, just like it was for me to make this video tonight for you all to enjoy, this is healing for me. I mean, it really truly is. I have been, this is so good for me to listen to what you guys are thinking about, your fears, your desires, your suffering, and this and that. Being able to respond with, that's kind of my larger path. And I've been so disappointed. I was crushed by these people. And it's fine, because they're people, and I walk around like I'm so enlightened. Here I am having these emotions, this monkey mind emotion. You just get pulled back, enlightenment and nirvana. I don't really, it's this thing that you pop in and out of over and over. And the idea is, how do I stay there, stay on my path? Mourn the disappointment, and when it's time, open your eyes and look at the horizon and go. Because you have your whole life ahead of you. And tomorrow, you might do something that will just change everything. And that's the fun of life, is experiencing what's going to happen tomorrow. What's going to happen? I do this. What's going to happen? It's fun. It's fun. If you allow it to be fun. And so, thank you, Santo. We're going to move on to our next question, who is from WarioTime0819, who says, who is your favorite music artist at the moment? Kendrick Lamar. Maybe. I don't listen to a lot of popular music. I am more into like electronic soundscapes, soundtracks. I love a good soundtrack. I love if you know what Ava's kind of like, the music there, love it. Here's an interesting thing about me, guys. My father, he was very into classical music. He didn't, when I went to my soccer games and he would come pick me up, the other dads would be listening to AC/DC and Pink Floyd, The Who, that kind of thing. My dad was listening to classical music like Beethoven, Mozart, this kind of thing. And my house was filled with classical music a lot. He just loved it, and I really appreciate classical. I love orchestral music. I love like militant fanfare type stuff. That's just like, I use music to really inspire me. Music is like a magic spell that you can cast on yourself and other people. And what's the quote? It's, a painting can decorate space, but music decorates time. And I really believe that decoration is a spell that you cast on yourself. I mean, the effect that music can have on people is utterly profound. And I don't know, favorite music artist, I like Muse a lot. I like Kendrick Lamar. I think that's going to be my answer. His new album's pretty fun, although some songs are already kind of being overused and are annoying me. But great. The next question is from Y2K90s, and this is going to be the final question. They ask thoughts on Nicki Minaj. If she has done something that is not okay, I don't know about it. And the last awesome thing that she made, in my opinion, was probably Super Bass. I love that video and I love that song. And the last thing I remember of her is Bees in the Trap. And she was like on American Idol. And I I don't know. What does she do? I have no idea. She's cool. I don't know. Has she done something? I don't know. Nikki. And then she made like electronic music for a bit. I don't know. What do you want me to say? My thoughts on her? She was cool back when I listened to her. I don't know much else, but that's going to be the final question of the day. That was fun. I feel like that was really good. I feel like that was enlightening. I feel like I learned a lot. I don't know if you guys learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about you guys. I hope it was relaxing. And this is going to be an hour and like 15 minute video. Pretty great. So thank you to everyone tuning in tonight, or rewatching the video, or what have you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're on this journey with me. I don't know what this is going to all turn into, but I'm going to cast a pebble every day in some small way until I've built a mountain. See ya. Sleep well. Goodbye.